Here we go. We are live for the first ever VAR Check Podcast. Right now, we're still waiting for people to start coming in. I mean, honestly, I feel the excitement internally. I feel like I have my starting lineup here live with us. And this has been something that has been up and coming. We've all been preparing for this moment. This was talked about, I feel like, between me and Ricky years ago. This is a project that has been in our minds years ago. We've talked about it with Amir, and then Michel, you were the final puzzle piece to really get this going. Guys, as y'all already know, Ricky from El Merengue Culé, but I would like to introduce you guys officially, properly, to Amir and Michel. Michel, Amir, I'll let y'all take the stage real quick. Give us a little something about y'all's background. I know y'all support Madrid and then Barca, but tell us when you started supporting the team, special moment, favorite player. Give us a little something.
And give us how you guys met us. I think that's important too.
Yeah, go, Mitchell. Mine is long.
Amir, I'll let you take it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, then I'll go first. I'll go first. No, I'll go first.
Okay.
Sorry. For me, Madrid has always been a journey for me, man. But I was a Madrid fan at birth. I remember when I was probably like 3 or 4. I remember painting the Madrid logo on my wall in my room, and my grandma freaked out. And she was like, no, she was like, no, we got to take it back. And then, just watching Madrid. And I remember, goated move, by the way, my dad used to pull me out of school to go watch the Champions League because he didn't want to drive to school because halftime was only 15 minutes and it was going to take more than that. So he pulled me out of school early to watch Champions League games. And we're talking like when I was growing up, the Galacticos, like Zidane, Raúl, Roberto Carlos, that team. So that's the team that I grew up watching, those legends. So I've been a Madrid fan since as long as I can remember. And then I met Rodrigo. And for the fans that are watching who are fans of you guys and know the video, I'm sure you can post the clip of the video somewhere, but you remember me if you see me from the Madrid PSG Club World Cup video, and you remember how excited we were front and center to watch Madrid get absolutely destroyed. So that's how I met Rodrigo, and I remember we had such a great banter, and we took the bus, like the fan bus, back and forth to and from the stadium, and we kind of just connected, and then he introduced me to your guys' channel, and I was like, yo, this would be something really cool. I would love to be involved in this some way, somehow. And that's kind of like when this, group text started with like, hey, like my brother and my buddy Amir, like this could be a great thing. And then this turned into a podcast. We all hopped on a FaceTime and we just saw how much fun we were, riffing off each other, going back and forth. Yeah, see our boy right here. Great idea for the podcast. So that was kind of where this all, shout out. So it was just a great experience, and I'm excited. Episode 1, hopefully one of many. We continue to grow this family, and I'm excited to see where this goes. So, a la Madrid.
Oh yeah,
a la Madrid. I love it.
All right. So me and Rodrigo actually went to college together. We started playing soccer freshman year of college, and then somehow we ended up here. They're basically Ricky and Rox are my brothers, so it's basically family at this point. Michelle is a new member of the family. I've been I was actually a Madrid fan when I was like very young.
That's
you pulled that. I didn't know that.
That's getting because we're going viral.
Because of my brother. Hold on. And then I was like 3 or 4, and then my cousin was like, "No, you can't be a Madrid fan. You need to be different." And so he showed me like a couple of like clips of like Rijkaard putting in Ronaldinho and all that, and it just changed. From there. We just became a Barca fan. Idol, I would say probably the Guardiola era, like Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, huge players that I've idolized since I remember.
It's actually crazy. As we were making the intro for the VAR Check podcast, Ricky and I were just looking up YouTube videos of just Madrid and Barca, like any controversial fouls, just like anything for the intro. It was all that Guardiola Mourinho era. That was, I think, the epitome of Real Madrid and Barcelona so far in I think all of our careers.
I can't
So,
believe
yeah,
you
here
hit
we
the
are.
switch on us too.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I had to leave y'all. Y'all weren't good enough, so.
That's crazy.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Visca
15,
Barca,
15
baby.
Champions Leagues later. But anyways, guys, so once again, we wanted to put this podcast together because ultimately Ricky and I felt like we found our most enjoyment in this channel whenever it was along you guys. As some of you may remember, so for example, my boy here, Chatan, first video I saw on your channel was 8-2. So that's what really put El Merengue Culé on the map and allowed us to get monetized initially. And shortly after, the channel kept on growing, and then came the Euros 2022, I think. And that's when Ricky and I first ever started live streaming the actual live games. And we felt the connection like we've never ever felt with you guys. And I feel like we've been wanting to return to something like that. And the moons, all the stars finally aligned for us to, create this podcast. So, Ricky, I'm gonna leave you the final part of the introduction. Give us whatever you wanna put out before we really get started with some good content here.
So I'm gonna take a little piece from Micha's handbook. So my dad, our dad, he doesn't really like football, soccer, but my best friend in elementary school, his dad was our soccer coach at the time, and he would pull us out of school in it was second and third grade. And like every time Barcelona played in the Champions League or a Clásico, like he would pull us out and he would take us to a bar and we'd just watch the El Clásico at a bar as little 8 and 9 year olds just running around.
It wasn't just a bar, wasn't it a strip club?
His dad did indeed.
Yo, this is the easiest way for us to get canceled so fast.
First episode done.
He's a G.
Over.
Hey, but that's the thing. This podcast is unfiltered. We are giving you things
Uncensored,
as it is.
fully there. Yes.
My
Go ahead, Ricky. Go ahead.
I have two favorite memories. One, I don't even know what game it was. Barcelona scored on Real Madrid to go up 1-0. This guy, he's got a little vodka something. He's got a drink, and he just chucks that thing at the floor, and it just shatters everywhere.
I'll tell you what game that was because I'll never forget it. That was when Zlatan Ibrahimovic first joined Barcelona, and that was his goal against Madrid. I think
that was a different one. That was a different one. What I was gonna say is like 10 seconds later, you see the ref raise a flag, and it was offsides, and this guy's just there like, damn, I just broke this drink for no reason. And then my second moment was when Zlatan scored the it was like not like a volley, but like a aerial finish against Real Madrid for that 1-0 win.
Damn, yeah, that was a legendary moment. Quick shout out to Alif. Thanks for the comment. Never gonna forget when I had to send you 15 because I lost
a bet.
Hey, don't bet against me now. And then the next comment that came in from
Wow.
Real Madrid
1:40 a.m. Damn.
Good morning. I know, dude.
Wow.
You are a real one, man. Watching us at 1:40 a.m. from Kyrgyzstan. Excited for the podcast, and we'll definitely keep watching and sub. Jeez, man, 1:40, bro. Keep your eyes open. It's about to get better.
It's about to be a banger, bro.
Banger. So to finish off the intro, thank you guys. Right now we got 7 people watching, and obviously this is our first episode. We just hope that this continues to grow exponentially. I feel like the vibes are already right. We got you guys interacting, which is ultimately what I really want from this podcast. It's not just us talking, it's talking to you guys. Look at this.
From London.
Watching at 11:40 from London. Nuts.
Dude, we got to do a European tour already with all these people coming from all over the
I mean, at this point, yeah, the European tour is coming. Well, since Ricky and I went to the Champions League final back in 2022, we said that was when Real Madrid played against Liverpool in Paris. And since Ricky and I said that anytime that Real Madrid or Barcelona reach a Champions League final, we're going to book it. We're going to send it. So whenever they made it, against Dortmund, Madrid against Dortmund in London, that's where I was. And honestly, we were this close to going to Munich last year. We were this close to going to Munich last year, and I don't mean to open up wounds, but maybe this year.
No, funny enough, I made a bet with one of my teachers, one of my faculty at school, and he's also a Barcelona fan. And we made a deal where, like, if they win, we're all going to the final. So he's gonna come along too.
We have people ready to go, and now we got more. We got another comment in here from Zayn Hanif. Hi guys, as a Liverpool fan, I've watched this channel for a long time. Big ups. Hey man. Thank you for the comment. Liverpool, honestly, I would put Liverpool as one of my favorite, I guess, least hated teams from the Premier League. I'll leave it at that.
Agree.
I don't know if I can put them.
I agree.
Up
Yeah, no, after 2019,
yeah, no, that's fair. We got another comment. I'm in class right now, not missing this podcast. Hell yeah.
Yo, that's commitment to the grind right there.
Yeah.
Yo.
Let's go. I love it. So with that being said, I say that we jump into the first topic. So I'll let you guys choose, and I'll let you guys take it off if we want to stick to La Liga or we want to go into the Champions League.
I think we maybe start with La Liga because Champions League has yet to really
begin.
We'll finish off the podcast
fully go
with
through
the Champions League then, okay?
Yeah, I think we finished out with the Champions League, but let's not forget the European qualifiers. We have a lot of
there's a lot going on.
Juicy information there.
There's a lot going on.
Like Lamine Yamal pushing Arda Güler.
The other way around.
Well, yeah.
Oh man,
Somebody
we talked a lot about Lamine Yamal too. Oh shit.
Yo, Lamine Yamal has been the talk of the summer. You guys,
know what? Let's talk about Lamine Yamal at this point.
Let's talk about Lamine Yamal.
I think we defer to you guys. That's your player. So I have my opinions, but I'll defer to you guys.
I'll bring up a potentially controversial moment. A lot of people have been giving a backlash for his new celebration where he crowns himself as what appears to be the king. And in a country where I would go as far as say the country where kings are valued the most, that definitely is controversial. What do you guys think?
I think it's controversial, but I also can see why he's doing it. It can be some sort of a protest, I feel like, also. It's not necessarily like an egotistical type of movement, but that's just a different view, I guess. Honestly.
What is he protesting for?
I guess he's I think his background just not being actually Spanish, and he had the option to play for Morocco, but then he chose Spain, and he had all these controversies like going on for a little bit at the beginning when he chose Spain. So maybe partially to that, but I can also see the ego side from hanging out with like Neymar and like all these people. I mean, I love all those players, but they're all egotistical. So
look, I hope that you're right and he scores a hat trick. Someone presses him in a press conference this season, and he explains something similar along the lines of what you just said, that he's trying to make like it's more than just a potential ego thing. But I'll say one thing: a king never crowns himself.
It's true.
So he already started off this summer with his whole birthday celebrations that I know a lot of backlash, him and his dwarfs. And then he starts off after his first real good season crowning himself. I mean, not the way. All I'm going to say is I feel like he is becoming what all Barcelona fans hated about Vini. Still early on, but he's on that path.
I don't know. I definitely think there are some resemblance. I will not deny that. I will not deny that.
I also think it's
I think Lamine Yamal has like he's at an interesting point in his life right now because he came in as this wonder kid, 15 years old, I believe is when he made his debut, around that age, right? So he's at this point in his life where he's now one of the highest paid players, if not the highest paid player at Barcelona. He's still super young and he knows he's that good. And I think that is he's feeling himself, and there's nothing wrong with feeling yourself. I actually embrace the controversy and him kind of playing this bad boy, sagging his shorts, kind of he's embracing that character, I think. But I think there comes a point where you can't just do all the talking off the field. You also got to do it on the field too. And this year, if he's doing the crowning himself, if he's doing all these things, if he's getting the clickbait and he doesn't perform the way that he did last year or better, it's just going to hurt him. Because Cristiano, we all know that he has an ego, but that dude scored 40, 50 goals every year for 8, 9, 10 years. Like Lamine had a very, very good season last year, but you got to do it consistently, and you can't just have one good year and think you're that guy. And I know people are going to talk about trophies and Vini and how this and that, and we can get into that later or even on a different episode. But at the end of the day, Vini has Champions Leagues. So these players have these trophies, and I'm not saying that that's right or wrong or the other, but Lamina's got to be careful because at the end of the day, he's still very young. We want him to be healthy because I hate when Madrid play Barça and each other's best players are on the field because then it just kind of feels like a wash. I want Lamine to be there and I want Lamine at his best, but you also can't let the money and fame and your new girlfriend get in your head before you're playing a game because Franco and Bastantuano's coming for that too.
Look, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this right away. Lamine Yamal right now is talking the talk, but also walking the walk. So just like I'll give him a little smack, a little punch, I'll also raise him back up and say, hey, right now he's doing he is literally doing it. So if he continues to do it, he'll continue to keep our mouth shut. Because if you realize, we have not said anything negative about his playing style. I mean, I genuinely think that guy is good as hell. And Ricky can attest to that. Since he started playing, I've always said Lamine Yamal can dribble like very little people that I've seen dribble throughout our whole life watching the sport. And so I'll recognize talent where I see it. I'm curious to see if he can keep it going. And I think it's crucial for El Clásico, for Real Madrid, and for Barcelona to have a Lamine Yamal that's at this level.
Yeah,
I agree.
So with that being said, another shout out yet again to Ale, dropping in a little donation, €2 and 49 cents.
Thank you, Ale.
Appreciate you, man.
Let's go straight into the World Cup fund. Hopefully we can go see a game.
Yes.
We're starting the World Cup fund. Hey, look at that. It's not all guys here. It's not all guys. I had no idea that we had already a female watching this. So heck yeah. We love to include everyone in the show. Normal humans have 2 cells, red and white. I have 3. Woo!
Wow. Bars.
Wow. Yeah.
Yo, can we talk? Wait, I know this is a weird segue. Speaking about bars, can we talk about Sergio Ramos becoming the new reggaeton or musician of the year? Latin Grammys is coming our way. Cibeles is the banger of the summer.
Well,
hashtag Sergio Ramos. Ramos, if you see this, bro, te quiero.
The song is good. The song is good. But I think if I were a Madrid fan, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
He took a lot of jabs. He made Perez look like.
I agree with Ricky. I mean, I do also like the song, but listening to the lyrics, I was kind of like, damn, bro. And that's coming from someone that I love, Sergio Ramos. I see him. I mean, obviously Ronaldo's like my favorite player, but Ramos is honestly a second place for me. And, he did leave Madrid in a controversial way, but seeing him make this song, taking jabs at Madrid, almost like, y'all let me go type thing. And it's like, I don't know if that's the full story.
Here's the thing, though, with that. He did leave in a controversial manner, but he didn't. It's not out of the ordinary for Madrid and how they do business.
That's true.
And I'm not saying that this is right or wrong. Look at Casillas. Same thing there. A Madrid legend. All these players that Madrid, from what I can tell, they don't offer extended year contracts anymore once you get to a certain age. Look at Luka Modric. It was year after year after year. Yeah. Madrid has no problem keeping you if you want to retire. That's how they do business. They're not going to give you a 3-4 year contract. You can stay 1-1-1-1-1. And Ramos, I don't think it was about the money. It was about the long-term security of his contract. And Madrid doesn't do that, And I'm sure he feels other type of way, and behind closed doors there's certain things, but it's okay for Ramos to feel the way he feels. He's still one of the best ever as a center back. But also, if you look at Madrid's perspective, I remember watching games with my dad and being like, yo, Ramos isn't what he used to be. He scored a lot of goals because he took the PKs for the team, but he was getting beat off the dribble. He wasn't as fast. He was making reckless challenges. So as a business, Madrid's looking like, hey, we would love for you to stay, but I'm not giving you a 3-year contract. And I think that's what Ramos was looking for. Now, that pain led to a banger. So let's see if that banger leads to a Grammy. But I'm just saying that song is the banger of the summer.
Yeah, next up, Bad Bunny is going to be on the album with him, with Sergio Ramos.
Bro, he's going to be on stage with Bad Bunny, El Conejito Malo.
El Conejito Malo. I mean, imagine a world in which 5 years from now, Ramos is just a reggaeton singer, and we're just like, dude, what the hell? We're just listening to this guy day in, day out. That would be crazy. I mean,
I kind of hope he does it.
Maybe we're predicting it here. Maybe you got dibs on that one. So I think we should transition while we're still in the Real Madrid Barça topics. Let's talk about La Liga, because right now it's the international break. For Real Madrid's perspective, they went into this La Liga campaign with essentially zero preseason, right? They played one little game that got, I think it did get televised, but it wasn't even, I mean, I didn't watch it live. It was, I don't even know where they played. And so it was a big question mark as to how they were going to come into this season with only the Club World Cup as their preseason. But here we are, 3 weeks in. Real Madrid so far 9 points out of 9, and Barça dropped their first points in their final match before the break. How are we feeling about this?
I think for Barça, besides the Mallorca 3-0 victory, because I think that was partly an anomaly, right? The controversial red cards. There was a whole bunch of controversy in that game. No one's denying it. There was some very sus. Barca's not beating the allegations of paying the rest off that game. However,
Barca's never going to beat the allegations.
The score that we got a clean sheet that game, I think the other two games, the one against Levante and Rayo Vallecano, highlight Barcelona's weakness this year. Losing Íñigo Martínez has made us very weak defensively.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a gap that is not easily filled. And I mean, I don't think we have it filled, and that's my biggest concern for this year. And I think it's already being shown with the first 3 games of La Liga.
Yeah, and kind of piggybacking off of that is that the team doesn't have that like discipline that they had last season. Like there were games like we were like messing things up, but like we would come back, and like the last game, like you're watching and you're like, what are you doing? Like the whole team is just kind of like disorganized and running around and trying to like Flick is trying new things and trying to come up with things. And I mean, I'm sure it will work out, but it's kind of concerning to look at. I think it will be improved on just like last season because it's a change, and it's like we lost like a huge leadership proponent of the team, but I think the team will come back. It's kind of hard to see it now.
Yeah, another factor to consider is historically Hansi Flick doesn't do as well in his second year coaching a team as he does in the first year.
And that really remains to be seen, but that has been a factor, that a statistic that has been seen, like when he was with Bayern Munich, and he was with Germany too. I guess I don't know if after his first year with Germany, his first title with Germany, it also happened. But I mean, last year Barca, the thing with them is they were already so weak defensively. Their thing that they were really good at, well, they conceded a lot of goals, but the thing that they were really good at was the whole offside trap. But I think all of us that play the sport know that offside trap is like playing with fire. I mean, you're just waiting for that one time for it to not work, and that has enough potential to throw off the whole game, or even a couple weeks if it really gets in your head. And Íñigo Martínez was always a key player that would make that offside trap work, because it's all dependent on the center backs also stepping right when they need to, not as much as the outside backs. And yeah, you're right. I mean, they didn't really replace Íñigo Martínez after he left. And I know they were doing it to try to, I think the whole reason behind Íñigo Martínez leaving was so they could subscribe the goalie, Joan.
And
Juan
to me,
Garcia.
that's a huge downgrade. That's a huge downgrade. I'm about to say something controversial. I think Araujo, even though when he first came up and started playing, I thought he was going to be the next Van Dijk. He has every physical quality to do so, in my opinion. I think he just lacks the mental side of the game. Like it's not like 1-0, but it's not where it should be. Physically, he's there. Mentally, he's not. And I don't
we've
think
seen it in the Champions League many times, like 2 seasons ago when they against PSG.
Yeah. And then the other side of things is also it's just like you look at how we're setting up again, and we don't have like Inigo, as you said, Roxy. He was the one that like set that pace for where we wanted that offside line to be. Whereas now against Rayo Vallecano, we're seeing people are pushing up, and then there's a line just like somebody like falling behind, and now we're getting caught in something that wasn't an offside. And Juan Garcia saved our ass multiple times that game, but
yeah,
it was scary to watch.
I think something that worked really well for Barca last year is they knew, and it happened because in the Madrid game too, they're down 2-0 from the beginning. It happened the same thing, with Mallorca, I believe. Like Barca knows they can concede and still come back and win the game because their offense is that good, that explosive. But that's going to get you in trouble when you're not playing the Mallorcas of the world, the Rayo Vallecanos of the world, when you're playing Inter, Liverpool, Arsenal, Madrid, like whatever, Bayern Munich, like all these big clubs who in theory should compete, and that's not going to help. And look at what happened with the Inter game that you guys had. You guys dominated the game, and then those moments of lapse of concentration like really come back to hurt. And this year specifically, for some reason, and the ESPN pundits were saying this too, for some reason no one figured this out last year. Play balls in behind. If you have somebody quick who can get there, everyone's trying to dice up Barca. That's probably not going to happen. Like just put the ball in behind, see if you can catch them off guard. And this might lead into a segue, but like not everyone's going to play a deep block. And we're seeing this right now with Madrid, is they're struggling to play against teams in that deep block. And look, they've pulled out the victories, and you've heard the same things about Madrid's lacking creativity. Madrid is doing this, Madrid is that. And I think it's really annoying when people say things like that, because it's like, well, what do you want to do when you have 10 players defending behind the ball? Like you have your center backs just outside the center circle, on their side of the half. It's like there's not much you can do, and that's the playing style that a lot of these teams are going against. And you don't really see, hey, Valentina, we love that. You don't really see teams nowadays, and this is partly of Guardiola's creation of how teams play the game now. It's too systematic, it's too robotic. Everyone knows exactly where they need to be at one time. It leaves for a lack of creativity. So when the pundits are saying Madrid, Barca, XYZ aren't creative, look at everyone's playing. You're going to tell me someone's defending 10 people inside the box and you want someone to get diced up? Like if you watch a game from 2002, the 90s, 2004, whatever, you see people ripping shots from 35 yards out all the time. If someone does that now, unless you're a star, you're getting yanked. So it's really hard when you see teams playing an offside trap or defending deep to see explosive, an explosive play style.
And unfortunately, that's something that we've gotten used to seeing in La Liga. And obviously, we are Madrid and Barca fans, and we're going to be La Liga till we die. So we have to just live with it and die with it. But teams have become so systematic, just like you were saying, so organized, so defensive. When they go out there and they play in Europe, they compete so well. And that's where you really realize, oh, hey, La Liga is actually at a really high level. But whenever you're watching La Liga day in, day out, it also does get a little stale, because you just have the Levantes of the world, the Leganeses of the world, just knowing that if they just stay super compact, they're going to be all right. And then you compare and contrast that to the Premier League, and you watch every single game in there, and it's just like such a fun game to watch. Teams are attacking each other back and forth, high scoring games, and it takes away a lot from the show, of course, for La Liga.
Now that we brought up the systematic play, I was very curious to see how, and this is kind of bringing up a little bit older news, how Xabi Alonso's 5 in the back at Leverkusen would transition to Real Madrid. I think he tried in the preseason, which he didn't have a very long preseason, and it didn't work as well. What are y'all's opinion on how he's fitting into Madrid?
Who specifically?
Xabi Alonso as the manager.
It's a good point.
Got it.
Go for
Who's
it.
taking this one? Okay, so I mean, it's still early, you know. Xabi, I mean, you heard it in some of his interviews, and he said like we haven't really had that much time to work on teams defending deep like that. You know, like Xabi Alonso came in during the Club World Cup. I mean, I think he had maybe a handful of training sessions before that. He came into the Club World Cup and kind of got thrown into the wolves with players that he maybe doesn't really want, doesn't really see in his plans. You know, because Xabi Alonso has proven that he is a good coach. Like no one can tell me that you don't go and have an undefeated season with Bayern Leverkusen with players who are playing at different clubs now who are great. We didn't know any of their names, or maybe dominated by Bayern Munich or, you know, Borussia, and you come in and you don't take a single L. You know, that's crazy. So like what he's doing is he's establishing his legacy as a coach. And the thing that's going to help him is going to be the same thing that happened with Zidane. Because Zidane, I think he came straight from the academy. I don't think he had coached anybody else. And he came in and won 3 Champions Leagues, coaching Cristiano. It's that you were, well, right, but like you were a Madrid legend. You were a Madrid legend. You were a Madrid player. You know what it's like, not just to be a player. You were a Madrid player. And these players have to respect that. And Xabi Alonso has no problem being like, oh, sounds good. You're hitting the bench today. And look at what he did to Vinny. Some people say it could be because of rest, because of his whatever. He was trying to send a message, whatever the case is. But he had no problem benching Vinny. And unless he was hurt, Ancelotti never really did that. I believe in Xabi Alonso.
Yeah.
Their plan in the first 3 games. I say by week 10, you're going to start to see a little bit more of what Xabi Alonso's playing style for Madrid will be.
But that's exactly what he needed to do, because Ancelotti he was a friend of the players. You know, he had already won his Champions Leagues. He didn't have to make a statement anymore. So he just said, I'm going to ride this team till I die, till they have to really just get rid of me. And that's essentially what happened. So Xabi Alonso's having to come in and just rewrite not just the whole locker room, but like the playing style for this team. Players that were complacent. I mean, look at Rodrigo, who playing terrible seasons. Really, if you look at his past few seasons, his stats are not great for a winger at playing for Real Madrid. I mean, the caliber of a Brazilian player like Rodrigo, he should be getting in some more assists and stuff. And yes, he's had great moments, but you know, we can't live in the past. And Xabi Alonso did just that. He said, you know, we know you've had issues with the club. I'm going to sit your ass, and you're going to have to figure it out. And also, Rodrigo teased with the whole leaving situation and whatnot. But anyways, I don't want to get sidetracked too much with him. But Xabi Alonso is showing personality at Madrid. He's not letting the scene be too big for him. He's, like Micho said, he's a player that played at Real Madrid. He knows what it's like. He has the balls to make the calls that needs to be made, and he's doing that. And yeah, I agree. I think we're gonna have to wait till maybe match day 10 plus to really start to see a different playing style. I think we're already starting to get hints of it. We see a Real Madrid that presses much higher. With Ancelotti, there was essentially no pressing, and that's why Mbappe and Vini have gotten a lot of backlash about just being lazy up in the front. But now we're starting to see a Madrid that's pressing a little bit higher, and that's always going to make more attractive football. And at the same time, we see this little hint of Pep Guardiola and Xabi Alonso, where Madrid is trying to possess the ball a little bit more. I don't think Real Madrid has that mentality of ever being the team that's going to outpossess you. That'll never be their true identity. But nonetheless, it's good for them to get used to playing different ways. So
he played for Guardiola, didn't he?
Yeah, he played for Guardiola at Bayern.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of learning from him being implemented.
I'm interested to hear what they have to say, because I mean, obviously we're watching this from an emotional standpoint of the season we had the year before, kind of seeing the demise or the downward fall of Ancelotti at Madrid. Like, as a Barca fan, watching the Madrid games or watching maybe the Club World Cup going into this, how do you guys see Madrid differently? Do you think there is anything to per se worry about? I mean, Madrid Barça El Clásico is always going to be the most watched game probably of the year in the world, right? But I know just the way we watch you guys and see, I know you guys watch Madrid as well. So what are your guys' thoughts
I
on that
definitely
in the new regime?
For me, Xabi Alonso is always a player that I respected a lot.
Same here.
He never stepped out of line. He always played every game hard, but respected his opponent. I think that obviously on top of being a club legend gives him the advantage where he doesn't really have to prove himself to the players. Kind of like Zidane, he shows up to the dressing room and everyone's like, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir." And let's just. I'm not saying he's having a slow start, but if you were to have a slow start, having that legend status gives the club a little bit more grace and giving him a little bit more time to find his rhythm. So what do I foresee of Real Madrid for this season? A similar story to what PSG just had in their last season. Maybe not the quickest of starts, right? Maybe in the Champions League, like the group stage, right? Maybe you don't see a Real Madrid that's finishing first, second, anywhere in the top 10, maybe struggling to classify, maybe not that bad, but then, as the season progresses, as he gets momentum, he kind of snowballs into that role and has a pretty good run.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time.
Yeah, kind of going on that also. I think Xabi Alonso is going to be kind of like what Xabi was for Barcelona, except with the leverage of having managed Bayer Leverkusen, which is a huge thing for him because he has experience with the league that's still pretty competitive versus something that Xabi had in Qatar. And he's going to come in and make changes, and these changes are going to take time, obviously. But it's as Ricky said, everyone already respects him, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see a new system for Madrid, not fundamentally different, but still different from what, as you said, what Ancelotti had with the team. The other thing that I'm excited to see with him is how he's going to change y'all's midfield. I feel like with Modric leaving, now it's going to be a new system he's going to implement in order to kind of figure out how he can use the high press with this midfield also. So I don't know if he's going to start doing some sort of total football or if he's going to use multiple CDMs. So I'm curious to see. I'm excited for El Clásico this year because it's going to be almost a coach that is German versus somebody who coached in Germany. So it'll be super interesting to see a lot of aggressive and attacking football.
Yeah, no, it's definitely some good times ahead. I think this season is going to be a great season. Last season, we had a lot of the top teams. I feel like a lot of the European giants fall asleep. And in this season, it's almost like a lot of these teams have that internal pressure where they have to come back. They almost let PSG have a cakewalk into winning this Champions League. Bayern Munich, I feel like never truly showed up to the party. Real Madrid didn't really show up to the party. Let's not even talk about Manchester City. I feel like it's been one season and we've forgotten about Manchester City and how good they can be.
Liverpool too. As far as
Liverpool's the final one that I was getting at. I mean, yes, Liverpool had a great Champions League league phase, but then they ended up facing against PSG, who obviously proved to be a monster. And me and Mitchell can attest to that. But this is the season where I think a lot of the European giants come back to the scene. And so anyways, I think this is a good time to switch to the next segment, which is something that I want to introduce. Maybe not every single week that we have this podcast, but every couple times, which is our power ranking, our power index ranking. And so I want us to kind of start off this first episode by ranking each of picking out the top 10 teams right now, ranking them, and we're going to see how that fluctuates throughout the season. So let's just off the bat, I want to see, who do y'all put at number one?
PSG.
That's
still
such a hard.
For me, PSG.
PSG. Yeah,
I would
I
put
think.
Liverpool.
I mean, I think you have to. They're the
Liverpool's
they're
up
the
there.
defending Champions League champions. They made it to the final in the Club World Cup. Like Chelsea beat them, but on any given day, anything can happen. I think Chelsea snuck away with that one. I think you have to give the respect to the defending league or the defending champions. So I'm gonna put PSG at number one.
I agree. And guys, I want to also hear y'all down in the comments. So we have a random guy 101 who's agreeing with putting
PSG.
PSG as the number one team coming into this season. Let's I heard Liverpool in that little argument there for the first place too. Liverpool, who just came from a transfer window of spending 450 million euros buying Isak, Florian Wirtz, who I think could be one of the best players, in the next few years. Where would you guys put Liverpool if it's not second?
Yeah. If it's not second,
I was gonna put him first.
Okay, so like, are we agreeing that they could go in second, or
Yeah.
do you guys argue they should be somewhere else?
No, I think second. For me, second.
I
I think
agree.
it's a very interesting take. Very interesting take. I don't see them at second.
Okay.
I see them maybe getting into the top 5. Like let's not forget. Like yes, they dominated their league last year in a league where City completely disappeared, had their season. Like it was just Liverpool's year.
They beat
They
Madrid in the
dominated.
Champions League, but Madrid was really bad.
Well, yeah, but like look at what they did leading up. They dominated their league play and they got beat at home by PSG. I think to say that they're number one in the world, and especially the way they've been looking now, like the goals that they've been giving up seem pretty, I don't want to say amateur, but it seems that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I say they get into the top 5 for sure, but put them at 1, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the people in the comments can
Maybe
chime in
not
as well.
one, but I guess
I don't think they hit the top 3. I don't think they hit the top 3. I
Okay,
think
so that's what I wanted to
5.
hear. So then,
So
Amir, who would you put, if not Liverpool, who would you put at number 2 this season?
Based on last season and I guess the beginning of this season,
And
I
the
would put
transfers, kind of putting everything collectively right now, coming into the season.
I would put Barca as second.
Okay. Let's I'm gonna throw Barca at second. And purely because I think Liverpool ended up as first place in the Champions League. Liverpool did beat Real Madrid last season, and they've had a really good transfer window. Plus, Real Madrid's kind of going through some changes. I'm gonna put Liverpool as third place, and I'm gonna throw Real Madrid at fourth. Now, what do you guys think about that? And then if we're in agreement, who do we put at number 5?
Arsenal or Chelsea, maybe in 5.
Ooh. I mean, with
the Arsenal Chelsea's hard. I feel like that can go either way. I think you got to give the nod to Chelsea. In their current form right now, I think you give the nod to Chelsea. I think Arsenal has shown over time that they can win, but I think they've shown over time that they choke at the end. And Chelsea's always been rebuilding. And look at, maybe the Club World Cup did something for them. They're playing well. I think you can go either way. I'm not mad either way.
It's
if
a
you put
tough
Arsenal
one. I
or
mean,
Chelsea.
I do think Chelsea impressed in the Club World Cup by beating PSG. I do also feel like Chelsea maybe had an easier route to the final. I mean, they had their Brazilian teams, which are by no means easy. But I think we were all hoping to see them against a Bayern Munich, a PSG, which is another one that I don't want us to forget. I think Bayern Munich should always be in the conversation because ultimately they have Harry Kane, they have Musiala, who I know got injured, so that might be a bit of a struggle. But I think they should always be in the question. I personally want to give it to Arsenal. I think this is Arsenal's season. I think they've been building for something, and they've realized that there's potentially an opening there with Liverpool also making a lot of changes to their team, a City that is struggling right now, Chelsea that's coming up, but Arsenal have finished second place the past 2 Premier Leagues, and they realize, hey, this is our time. And who got injured? Who got injured at the beginning of the season? Havertz. Havertz got injured at the beginning of the season, and they didn't fuck around. They said, screw it. We know this is our season. They went and bought Esse from Crystal Palace, who I've always thought is a really good player, a really good winger. So now they're going to have Gyökeres, who in my opinion was one of the best strikers last season. Whether he's going to get accustomed to the team or not, we'll see. They're going to have Saka, and then they're going to have Esse. So I think they're going to have a really good attacking. They're going to have a really good attack. They already have a good midfield with Declan Rice, and their defense is pretty solid. So I would like to see a Chelsea Arsenal, but I think for now, I would put them at fifth place until we Chelsea.
So we're saying Arsenal 5, Chelsea 6.
Chelsea 6.
Yeah. I think
here's something interesting. 7, 8, 9 is going to be a toss-up between a lot of clubs because
I was going to put Bayern at 7th.
Man City could also be there.
Man City too.
I think City has to get at this point the 8th place. I mean, we can't just push them that far back when a season ago we would have probably been arguing that City is the number one team.
Yeah.
So they really can't fall that far behind. But City is absolutely changing their team. I mean, Gundogan left, Ederson left. I feel like a big
De Bruyne left.
Rodri's a question mark. Rodri, el Ballon de Oro.
Rodri is not coming back to sing. I don't know.
He's a huge question mark. Huge question mark. I agree.
Well, actually, if we're going back earlier into the podcast, and the people who watch this back can go back to when I said this about teams playing systematic football. Like, look at what has happened to Jack Grealish. Look at how he played when he played for Man City, and you can just see that something was missing. The reason they bought him. And now look at what he's doing for Everton. Now, I know it's a different level, but you can just see that spark. And one thing that I hate, and City does this, and Madrid do this. I don't really know much about Barca doing this, but maybe you guys can, educate me on that. But I really hate when teams buy players. They're like, we love what you did over here. Now we're going to bring you here, and you're not going to do any of that. You're going to do what we want you to do. And it's like, well, why did you buy him in the first place? Jack Grealish is, for the last 2-3 years, it's let me dribble at someone and then pull it back and pass it back. Then let me dribble at someone, pull it back and pass it back. And look at what he's doing now. And I think City is so stubborn in the way that they want to play because they know that it works.
It's Guardiola's team. It's Guardiola's way.
Dude, you don't have the Barca players that you had.
He did the same thing with Eto'o and Ibra back in the day. Whereas when Jack Grealish was in Villa,
Aston Villa.
Yeah, Aston Villa. He had the freedom to go. He was everyone always found him. He took the ball and he made something happen. I agree with you. I hate when that happens. I mean, Barca can definitely do that.
Yeah, I mean,
by the way, hold on. Random guy 101 hot take. Barca ain't finishing above Madrid in league phase.
This might so good.
Barca definitely has the easier group, I think.
Yeah, and so that's something that I would take into account. Barca's draw is significantly easier than Madrid's. So while I I'm always going to back Madrid, and I think they are going to be better this season than Barca, I would say, if I were to predict, I would actually say Real Madrid is going to finish behind Barca.
Here's the thing too, and going back to the power rankings, I think we have 7, but 8, 9, 10. 9, 10. The teams that I think that we can't forget about, the teams to watch, other than the giants that we've already spoken about. You have Athletic Bilbao. They have great talent. They always play hard. They always show up in their moments. Nico Williams is a rising star as well. I know this might be like a curveball for everybody watching. Everyone needs to watch at Marseille and the job that. No, I'm not saying that they're in the top 10. I'm not saying they're in the top 10, but look at how they're playing, and look at the way the Serbi has been coaching them, bro. The Serbi is going to be one of the best coaches. He just needs that right click, and I think Marseille is going to be his club to propel him. It's going to be what Bayern Leverkusen was for Xabi Alonso, and I love watching podcasts. If you go back to the Kevin Prince Boateng one with Rio Ferdinand, he was coached by the Serbi, and he said the Serbi is going to go on and coach the biggest clubs in the world. Marseille was like a mid-table team for the last 10 years, bro.
Yeah.
Now they finished now they're in Champions League, right?
Yeah. Madrid is playing against Marseille.
Yeah, see, exactly. We're going to find out.
That's actually our first game. That's our first game against Marseille. Marseille, who actually were this close to getting Ceballos. everything was done, and then last minute Ceballos said no to them. They brought Aubameyang back. They made a couple other good signings.
That's what I'm saying. Don't sleep on Marseille, bro.
But we're talking about power rankings here.
Okay, but like what we're not 9 and 10. If we really want to be honest with the way teams are playing, we're putting City there because we're respecting them, not because of how they've been playing.
I still think City though. Okay, but we can't just forget.
The City's not playing. They didn't play last year, and they're still not playing well now.
They ended all right.
We always talk about not focusing.
The mid part of their season was, I think, where their downfall. But I think like the ending, if I remember correctly, was they picked it up.
Also, keep in mind.
Look at everyone's.
Oh, sorry. They have Donnarumma that they just purchased.
They brought in Donnarumma.
That's going to be huge for the team. It's going to be. I mean, Ederson was great, but he was injured like 90% of the season. I feel like so. And another kind of to.
But look at what you just said about Rodri not being the same.
Yeah,
they're definitely transitioning, which is why they're not so high up, but they're still up there.
I mean, for the past 5 years, City falls top 3 every time.
Yeah.
They're just not. Yeah. They're not that good.
We're definitely giving City some respect, and that's why ultimately they're in this top 10. If it's just purely off of last season, no, City was not a top 10 team. But I think we're projecting for what Guardiola can build for this season.
And then you also have.
Amir, what were you saying?
You have teams like Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan, and not Napoli. Like those 3, also they just somehow end up destroying all these big teams. Like, I mean, Barca game, we had all those VAR calls and there were so many issues. But in general, I mean, they're a great team. Like Napoli played great in Serie A last season.
So you can never rule out Dortmund either.
Well, Dortmund also.
With that being said, though, I think Amir hit who I would put at 9 and 10, which would be Inter Milan at 9 and Atletico Madrid at 10. I don't know.
Atletico Madrid at 10.
I would go. Oof.
Yo, I would go Napoli over Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid. Look, no, there's no way.
Napoli is not a bad shout.
I think Atletico Madrid have grit and determination, and they always play hard, but they can't score. They're a strictly defensive team.
No, I agree. I mean, that's just a way.
I mean, I don't know. I think they had their moment when they were going to the Champions League finals, but then again, like the same issue. I think they're too much of a defensive team, and Simeone is all like Guardiola stuck in his ways. I think they have great talent, but what does it matter if you have great talent if you're not using to their abilities? Look at Joao Felix, bro. Like I think that was one of the worst moves of his career.
Yeah, well, Joao Felix has flopped in every single team he's gone to since Benfica, though.
No, for sure. But I'm saying like they wasted him.
Would the conversation be different if Julian Alvarez's penalty goes in and Atletico eliminates Real Madrid? No.
You mean it?
I'm not bringing up the controversy, but I'm saying if Atletico eliminates Real Madrid, would we be giving them a little bit more of a praise?
But that's Atletico's life. That's Atletico's story. Would this be different if they would have beat Real Madrid in one of the 2 Champions League finals? And that's their problem. They choke. They always choke. And that is what I would take as the argument for why Napoli would do better than Atletico Madrid.
But they choke like a top 5 finish, but they consistently get a top 10, I'd argue. I mean, they made it to the Club World Cup over Barca. And that's accounting for.
They didn't come out of the group phase, right?
To be fair, they were in the group of death or whatever with PSG and one of the Brazilian
Botafogo and Seattle Sounders, right? You say in a group of PSG, Botafogo, and Seattle Sounders, they can't come out of the group
should have passed.
Bro, like, I mean, I think that's just the story of their life, bro. I mean, I think they have good talent. I think they're always going to be a 3rd, 4th, 5th place team. They'll have their years where like Madrid and Barca every 10 years where they don't win the league and Atletico will scoot in there. But to give them the shout and the nod at 10, again, I'm not talking about their history, about right now, the way they're playing now and this summer. Yeah. I don't think they're a top 10 team. I'd give Napoli the nod.
Okay, so I give Atletico the vote. Michel gives Napoli the vote. Amir, Ricky, where else votes?
I'm going with Atleti. Okay. They're not fun to watch, but I think they'll make the 10.
I want to go with with Napoli, but I'm gonna go with Atleti just so we don't have to vote on this again. So
Let's
We should have
Well-
left it to the comments. We should have left it to the comments because
well,
you want to pick
that's what I'm
Atleti.
saying. That's what I was getting at. Let's see from the comments. Right now we got 8 people watching, which, for you guys that have been watching, we're almost at the 1 hour mark, which is amazing. I think we've been having a great time. So I want to thank every single person that has been watching us and is watching right now. If you guys hit the like button, if you guys haven't already, I would really, really appreciate it. If y'all are new, this is El Merengue Culé. We're mainly Real Madrid and Barcelona, but that's the thing. This is why this podcast is called the VAR Check Podcast, because we're not only going to talk about Real Madrid and Barcelona, we're going to open our horizons. We've been talking about City. We've been talking about Atletico Madrid. We've talked about Liverpool already for some time. So that is the epitome of the podcast. We're going to talk about a little bit about everything. So I hope you all are having a good time. I want to hear from you guys down in the comments, not just between the Atletico Madrid versus Napoli controversy that we're going at, but just, what y'all have been thinking so far. And yeah, kind of go from there. But, I think it's going to be every week or every time that we have the podcast, I would like for us to come back and revise our power rankings to keep them updated, And so right now, I think we found a pretty good ranking.
I think we have a very solid 8. I think 9 to 10.
It's like 9 and 10.
We'll fluctuate. We'll fluctuate. But the top 3 is really what it comes down to, and Madrid is just outside of that. I think we also forget that Madrid was playing with Fede Valverde as a right back last year, and all of their injuries. Let's not forget that.
I think this season with 3 defenders.
Madrid this year is a very different Madrid than they were the year before. So I'm excited for this season. I hope everyone stays healthy because, again, I don't want to play Barca and have, Pedri out, or anything like that, because you don't want that for any player, right? But you want the best to face the best. And I think when it comes down to it, when every team is playing at their best, there's no better game in the world to watch than Madrid-Barca.
100%. I hope that we can see what we saw in the 2010, 2015 era happen yet again, where it's like 2 monsters coming to each other, where in the Champions League, they're the clear favorites every season dominating. And, it'd be great to get back to that. But at the same time, it's also nice to have, additional competition. Let me just run through some of the highlight games of match day 1 for the Champions League. One other thing that I want to pitch, which is something that me, Ricky, and Amir did last season, which was have a Champions League fantasy team. Mitchell, it'd be awesome if we do it again, have you in it, but open it up to the VAR Check podcast. We can even call it the VAR Check podcast league, or the VAR Check league.
We'll let the people in the comments put the name. We want to hear what they. Yeah, let's let them decide. Let's hear what they got to say.
Yep, we have 1 week until the Champions League really kicks off. So hopefully we can have one more podcast before that first match day. And obviously this weekend, La Liga is back, Premier League is back. So we'll have a whole new set of topics to talk about. It was kind of tough to talk about specific VAR controversies from the first 3 match days of the season, because, as time goes by, you're not as heated anymore. But we definitely could have gotten heated about some of the things that happened. And I think that's some of the stuff that we'll get heated about this Monday when Barca does their thing yet again. No, I'm just kidding.
I was just gonna say, bro, the one time that all of a sudden VAR doesn't work in a Barca game, bro. I'm just gonna put it out there. Don't know what it is. God. Ricky, I don't know what kind of brujeria you're doing over there, bro, but it worked out for you guys. So congratulations.
Yeah, we're not putting the allegations on that game.
Shout out Livingston. This is dope. I know you're a fan that's been watching the channel for some time. I recognize your name.
I recognize for sure.
So thanks for your comment. We got someone, a random guy. Hey man, random guy. I think you're the man of the match for the podcast. Most active out here for sure. Giving PSG that little boost. I think this is the final that maybe maybe not Madrid fans, but everyone else wanted to watch in the Champions League last season.
Mm-hmm. No, I would have been happy to watch that. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, look at what happened in the final. It was probably one of that final was over in 25 minutes.
Yeah. Just like the Madrid PSG, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I still to this day will never forget the anticipation, how hot it was,
Yeah.
sitting in that heat, watching the PSG fans right in front of us because we didn't know that we got tickets in the PSG Ultra section. So there was like 3 rows of clearance, and we're just seeing the PSG fans turn around and like flip us off and
And
like
there go hard.
fucking just
It
go in
started.
at us and like yelling at us, bro. Like it was crazy, and we just see a sea of white on the other side,
Yeah,
just still. It was
we
probably
were in
one
the
of the
wrong
worst
end.
days of my life.
I mean, but the PSG Ultras section started off with maybe had like 6 rows, full complete rows of PSG fans, and we're like, oh, we're about to just like absolutely like dominate them, just fan wise. And then 20 minutes into the game, these 2 fans show up with huge drums, and obviously PSG was already up at that point, so they already kind of had like the momentum going. And then these fans show up with the freaking drums and just create this European atmosphere that, I mean, we were never gonna beat. And it was just like we had the sun beaming right on us. We were losing. We were playing like shit. PSG fans were just destroying us. And I think Michel and us were like, it felt like hell. I think we were in hell for a solid 90 minutes.
But
From
yeah, it was absolutely insane, bro. And unfortunately, like the narrative has changed for Raúl Asensio. He was
Yeah.
that wonder kid from Castilla who came in and did his thing, and now he's getting linked with Besiktas, or
Oh, did he really?
like yeah. So it's like I feel bad for the kid, man. He's a good player, Spanish born. He came in and did his thing, and the one game in the Club World Cup just. I hope he stays, but
Yeah.
like again, it's interesting to see how the US is going to handle the World Cup because I feel like there was, and we can get into this on another episode, but I feel like the Club World Cup came with so many issues,
Mhm.
and the same issues are going to come up during the World Cup. So I'm interested to see how that is going to happen. I'm interested to hear what everyone in the comments and watching this video back thinks too, because we haven't had the World Cup here since 1994. I wasn't even born yet, so I'm excited to
Yeah,
see
none of us were born.
what is to come.
Ricky,
Yeah.
you should talk about the times about the World Cup, and then we'll drop that subject for another time.
Yeah, so it's not confirmed yet, but I was curious again, piggybacking off of how the Club World Cup was ran, and summers in the US are pretty hot. So I looked up what the rumored times for when the games would be at. It was 12, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., and 9 p.m.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think the 3 and the 12 p.m. and the 3 p.m. are the ones that you don't want to play, I'd argue.
Yeah.
The later games probably better as far as like the heat goes. But yeah.
But I mean, World Cup will definitely be a topic that we hit in the future podcast. I mean, this is leading up. We're what, maybe 8-9 months before, maybe like 9 months before the World Cup. The tickets, the public tickets, are going to drop actually in the next couple days. So I've heard rumors that the cheapest tickets are going to be $60. But obviously, those resale prices are gonna yank up the prices. But it does not compare to these hospitality ticket prices that I was seeing earlier. So that World Cup will be definitely a good time for us. It's something to look forward to, but definitely a topic to hit in the future. Guys, I don't know if y'all have additional topics that y'all want to talk about. We're hitting that 1 hour mark, which I feel like is within the time range that we wanted to keep it at. We also don't want to make it too long. So I'll open up the floor for any final comments from y'all.
Yeah, nothing.
I'm just
thought it was a lot
excited,
of
bro. Like
fun.
I'm excited.
Yep. That's where I was going. He
Yeah.
read my mind, so yeah.
Ricky?
No, I think we're hitting the 1 hour mark. I think it's a good time to call it. I've had honestly a lot of fun. This has definitely been one of my favorite videos to make so far. Being live, interacting with the comment section, the fans. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, keep telling your friends. Maybe at some point we'll end up doing it in person with you guys. So just keep telling everyone about us.
You
That
can
would
never
be
rule
great.
it out.
Yeah.
And also thank you to the fans who are not just here in the United States, but all over the world who have been chiming in from the UK and around. Like we excited for this being the first episode and this just being an idea that was just in a group text to now seeing people like just now commenting. And this podcast is only going to get better. This is episode 1, season 1, episode 1, the pilot episode. It's only going to continue to grow, and it's only going to grow with you guys. So you guys like, subscribe, share, throw this on Instagram, throw this on TikTok. If you see something funny, clip it up. Like, we're here and we want to provide good entertainment for you guys, but this is also just us hanging out and chopping it up and, you know, getting the shop. So I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you too for creating this channel and for welcoming me and Amir in with open arms to this idea. And I'm excited to see where this goes. All right. I'm excited.
Yeah. And I mean, I've definitely, just like Ricky, just like all of us, we've had a fantastic time. Michel, Amir, welcome aboard. I'm sure without a doubt that all the fans love the input from every single one of us. I'm so excited for the times ahead. I'm hoping that this can be like a weekly, bi-weekly thing. And just we just keep growing from here. So the sky's the limit. Just like Misha said, guys, thank y'all for joining in. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, turn on your notification bell on. Obviously, we have La Liga back this weekend, and in a week from now, the Champions League will officially start. We talked about potentially opening up a Champions League fantasy league. So maybe more information to come out in the next couple of days before of course it starts. So things to look out for. Yeah. With that being said, we're gonna call the stream here, guys.
Thank you for joining us.
Wait, Ricky gave a final thing that I forgot to say. The jersey giveaway that we talked about. But, so guys, if for those 6 that are still in, this is your chance to leave a comment to enter the raffle for either a Madrid or a Barca jersey. So if you guys
giveaways on the first episode is legendary.
Yeah, hey,
we got
to start off strong, right? So for those of you guys that are watching it live, you guys have a really solid chance right now to leave your comment, because all it takes is a comment right now and you're entered. You're not competing against that many people. And for those of you guys that come back, rewatch, and you made it all the way to minute 108, 107, almost 108, and you're hearing this part of the video, make sure you leave that in the comment, because that's also legendary of you. But yeah, so leave your comment and we'll call it there. Thank you guys for joining in. We'll see you all next time. Peace out.